Hello, everybody, back again. Good to see everyone, or good for you to be seeing me. Um, yeah, today I'd just like to take a little time to talk about HS2 and its safety records. I am an activist on some of the anti HS2 camps, which you might have seen in the news recently. We got had several battles at Denham, where security tried to remove us, and we tried to stop their bridge. And that's a kind of quite frequent occurrence. Those sort of confrontations. Um, and then up and down the line, like from London to Birmingham, where there's a lot of other camps and a lot of other local groups opposed to what's essentially a big concrete like shard being like shot just straight through their woodlands and communities. And yeah, we're seeing similar things pretty much everywhere. For those who don't know, HS2 or high speed rail was an idea floated back in 2010 to build a very, very fast big train from London Euston to Birmingham Curzon streets. Um, Firstly, it was it's supposed to be £30 billion, which is still a very large amount of money. Now it's projected anywhere from £170 billion to £200 billion, and could even be more than that. Um, and it's way behind schedule. It's taking a very long time. Now that's not why I'm there primarily. I do care about like public money being spent in a good way, but if it's spent on the right things, I don't really mind, to be honest. And I don't think that most people think that HS2 is the right way to spend that money. Like numerous polls, the most recent one was in like Engineers Weekly. I think that put about 70 to 80% of people against the project, and these are kind of engineers, so they really know what they're talking about. Those figures are kind of reflected in the wider general public. Most people don't know, don't want HS2 to go ahead. They either think it's a waste of money, it's trampling over like local communities, or it's doing too much environmental damage, or a mixture of the three. Um, Now I'm mostly there for the environment, and also I don't like seeing people get kicked out of their houses. It's terrible. People kicked off their land as well.
We are with scrap merchants. We process metals and recycle waste, and that's what we've done since we've been children. They promised us 90% of the value of the premises before we move out, or they want me out for 3 o'clock today. They've told me I'll be trespassing if I'm still here after 3. Well, I'm not going anywhere. They haven't given us a penny.
But I'm going to leave aside those issues today and talk about HS2's health and safety record and their attitude towards safety overall, when it comes to the building sites, and also their attitude towards protesters, because I've seen a lot of things which really, really make me question and make me think that HS2 has been is not how should I say this? It's not got the same sort of restraints and consequences for bad health and safety practice that a normal company would. And for that reason, they're being allowed to get away with a lot more than they should be. So I know it's quite a difficult thing to get people enthusiastic about health and safety, but some of the footage that I'm going to show you should like shock even the sort of like the most screw health and safety sort of person. And it's not just towards activists that this sort of stuff. If you look at the video of the tree for being cut down and almost hitting a friend of mine, you can see that also security and workers are there, and like it could have fallen on any of them as well. If you go on Indeed or Glassdoor, you can see loads and loads and loads of employee reviews. And apart from things like bullying, sexism, even anti-Semitism in the workplace, you see a great deal of complaints about health and safety. One person even says that they were health and safety manager on the site, and they were furloughed, um, before anyone else, and and they said that seems to indicate just how much HS2 really cares about health and safety. Um, it's worth sort of pausing to ask why it is so terrible. It might be because they've constantly fallen behind schedule, and someone up top is going, quick, go faster, wrongly thinking, oh, if you cut corners, then, the whole project's going to be done on time. Well, probably not, it's not that simple, is it? Yeah, and, I worry for, like, the safety of some of my friends. Security have been very rough, violent, aggressive with people. They've been rough, violent, aggressive with me. So it's of concern, and we do have a bit of a shout at the workers every once in a while. Why are you working for HS2? Why are you destroying the planet? But after that, we do actually express concern for them and don't want to see any of them hurt. And these are dangerous environments. Now, HS2 has accused us of making the work sites dangerous by doing stuff like climbing over the fence and so on, saying we're a danger to the public and we're a danger to the workers and so on. But if that was the case, how come there have been all these complaints about HS2 sites in health and safety when it's got nothing to do with protesters or protests? It seems to me that a particularly sloppy workplace culture has carried over from what HS2 does normally to their response to protests and activism. And if someone does get hurt, they're going to turn around and blame us if they can. Of course they are. But all that's going to mean that they never face up to their own, ridiculous sloppiness, their own cutting corners here. It's not just the one thing about health and safety. It does seem to be that across the board, it's a really, really badly managed company, full of egotistic personalities, and people just kind of getting their paychecks and don't really care if the project's finished or not. There's a very high turnover. People get very frustrated and leave. We see the security leave quite a lot. We'll have a friendly conversation with some of them, and eventually they won't turn up anymore because I don't think they agree with what HS2 is doing or the way they're doing it. So in the end, that makes it very difficult for HS2 to operate. It's difficult for something to get completed if people just don't really believe in it, isn't it? You need the workers on side and the public on side, and they just have neither of those things. And they could never really have it. The way that they've just ripped up the countryside and ripped up people's homes, it's unforgivable. People are never going to let that go. At the beginning, maybe they could have done something to act in a more trustworthy fashion. But yeah. So I think the project's going to get scrapped sooner or later. We're out there on the front line when we're not getting over an illness like I am. And we are, we're going to save every tree we can before it gets stopped. Thanks a lot, guys.